So, point number 6, Alan. Secret to success, number 6.
Would be the difference between advertising and publicity.
Right.
Now, advertising is free. Now, the media need us just as much as we need them.
Right.
And what I do is I'm always looking, say I want to generate some publicity in the local newspaper, which goes to about 200,000.
Yes.
And I'm always wanting to get the front page. Now, how you get the front page is it's the photograph. You're always looking for photographs with X factors.
Right.
As you see through my book,
Yeah.
the amount of front pages that we've had.
Well, I'm going to show later on. I've got them sitting in front of me, but we're going to show them later on. I'm going to get a close-up. We'll go through and I mean, I remember growing up. I mean, we're talking the major newspapers all throughout New Zealand. You managed to get great photos, I must say. You've really spent some time thinking about the photos, and I think so. You're saying that's what helps get you the front page, right?
It is the secret.
It is the secret.
You get a strong 8x4 photograph, which has that special X factor.
You told me something. I'm going to share this because this was over the years. You've given me such good advice, and they stick in my mind. One advice you gave me, and it was so true, and I'll give an example, is always be careful what you ask for because you may get it.
That's right.
And it comes to publicity and advertising. Now, how come Alan is always on the front page, or he's on television, or in the news, and because that was the secret. You phoned them up, or you did your research, or we'll talk about that, how to get the newspaper article, but you just basically asked them for it, right?
Well, I like going to see the people because if you were the reporter or the editor, I'd say, hey, I've got a great front page photograph for you. I put the idea in their head and show them, like this one here with my granddaughter.
So let's just show this. Well, we'll get close up to this, but there's literally stacks and stacks of all of these, and I love this is my favourite. This is the recent one, the GP of Magic. This is a marketing magazine. Now that's huge. I mean, a marketing magazine that goes to all the top executives throughout New Zealand.
That's right.
Right? And it's a great photo. We'll show you some of these photos later on too.
That would cost you thousands and thousands of dollars in advertising.
Now also on here, I've noticed you also add your website.
Correct.
And I love this because I should have had this out earlier because then I wouldn't have to keep asking you what it was. But the question, Alan says this in the issue, the question I constantly ask myself is, am I creating a memorable, entertaining, magical experience?
You've got
so there it is there in print. Fantastic. So let's get back to this. Publicity and advertising. We talked about the photos is vital. So how do you go about, say for example, well, let's talk about this. How did you do this? This is a great
What I did is they only wanted one paragraph. Well, I wanted a page.
So did they approach you or did you approach them?
They actually approached me.
In this case they did, yeah.
They did. For a one paragraph, what my philosophy on business.
Right.
But I wanted a page with a photo. So what I did is I went back and I read the last 4 issues of that magazine. I looked at the style of the editorial, what they were looking for, and then I tailored my whole presentation towards that style. Then I didn't get just a paragraph, I got one page.
And I also have to say, again, it gets back to your point about finding what's unique to you. And what's unique to you, Alan, is that you are which generation? You are fourth?
No, my granddaughter's a fourth
Your
generation.
granddaughter is a 4th generation magician, and we'll see her in the Rainbow's End show, but she's a performer at the age of 7?
Well, she walked on stage when she was 3.
3.
Now she's 7. She's part of 4 different illusions.
And now, how many shows a year would this 7-year-old do?
Over 200. 200
shows. It's more than I do. Now, can you adopt me? But so your family is unique to you. So you use that in your advertising, your publicity.
Well, very much so. Like with publicity, one of the things that I do is sometimes I might do an article on me, one on Michelle, or one on the twins, or on Alicia.
Yeah.
So in other words, I get a bite or 6 bites of the same cherry.
Sure, right. And I mean, you've got stacks of these things all filled with jam-packed with publicity, and we're gonna. I'll put these later on onto the DVD. Just a few little excerpts.
Mm.
So advertising and publicity.
Advertising cost. publicity is free.
So advertising costs, publicity is free.
Correct. And I'll tell you now, publicity is a lot stronger than paid advertising, because publicity gives you credibility.
Yes.
Because it's usually written by somebody else.
Sure. When you go to, because I know when you go to a local newspaper, do you, say for example you've won the local Magic Club competition, and that's a good thing. You know, you could use anything to your advantage, correct?
Well, that's good, because that's local news, and you wouldn't want to put that in a national paper.
No.
But the local paper's always looking for local news.
Right. So yeah.
Then you got the award, but you want front page, so it's the photograph. If you're doing a levitation, something that's looking spectacular, and then local magician Paul Romhani won the so-and-so close-up award, front page.
Front page, right. So that's really important. What would be the X factor?
The X factor has to be the photograph. You know how some photographs, they really stand out and they jump out at you?
Yeah.
That's what you're looking for. They're usually a photograph 1 in 20 is what I call that X factor. And to get inspiration from it, look at photography magazines, photographic magazines. Just look at the way the photographer's taken the photographs. That'll often give you inspiration.
So, and that's what we talked about earlier, about looking at other ideas, other mediums, not just magic. Look outside magic. Go to, I think go to theatre, go to plays, productions.
Agree.
Music. You must be constantly listening to music to try and add it into your show.
Correct.
Looking at all the different technology. So.
Because music brings about emotion.
Sure. Yeah.
It helps lift it to another level.
Is there anything else about that you'd like to tell us about? Well, now publicity. Because we're going to put a photo up of your van. Which is, again, your van is incredible. Does that generate work?
Very much so. People are racing along the motorway to book me. When I've been sponsored by Mars International for the last 18 years.
Now here's something we have to touch on. This is so clever. And a lot of people won't think about this. Not only can you get your business cards printed, do Mars sponsor the van?
They sponsor I'm on a retainer, quite a generous retainer. They wrapped the whole van with the latest technology.
Yeah. So Mars, by the way, for those that don't know, is a chocolate bar.
Correct.
Right.
Milky Way.
Milky Way chocolate bar. So they've done the van. We'll have a look at a photo of you with the van.
And also, wherever I park, I always park in a very prominent position. It's like a moving signboard.
Right. Yeah. So these are little points and tips. I know when I've been to the Teddy Bears picnic, which has, I don't know, 50,000 people, maybe more. I don't know how many. You're the only entertainer I know that can get your van right next to the stage.
That's what
right in front of the stage, and nobody else can do it. You do it. Because you probably asked for it, or
Correct.
I don't know how you do it. How do you do it? I don't have a van.
If they want the show, I've got a lot of gear to move down there.
Well, that's
so then I make sure my van's parked in the prominent.
But it's not just because of the gear. You see, this is smart. This all comes down to it, Alan. It's because your name is right there with your website, your phone number on it. It's a huge moving billboard. Great idea, and the fact you don't even pay for it, someone else pays for it. Genius. And that's all these little things make you successful and keep you ahead of the game. Now, so there's the van, there's the business cards. Again, these are all publicity, right?
Correct.
They're not advertising. You don't pay for these.
No, they pay me.
They pay you. See, somebody would see your van, I would imagine, and go, yeah, I think I'll get my van painted. And they'd probably spend $5,000 getting it painted.
Well, it cost them $6,000
$6,000
to do it 5 years ago.
Wow, I could have done that for $5. But anyway, so again, it's publicity, and that's a great point. Publicity, not paid advertising. Publicity is free. Advertising is you pay for advertising. That's a great point. And the internet, I guess, in some way is publicity.
It is, because at the end of the show, I'm quite subtle with my marketing at the end. I always mention, if you would like to know more about the Watson Family Magic Show, go to www.watson.co.nz.
Right, and word of mouth must play a big part. Right?
Very strong.
And you're so well established now. I would say that you're a household name in New Zealand, and you're so well established that people, and this is all the points you're saying, I think they work towards this particular point. Where you want brand recognition, where you want people to think, right, we need a magician, Alan Watson.
That's right.
Is that right?
That's true.
So it's I don't want to step onto the next point, but it's business. It's like any business. It's brand recognition, right?
Correct.
And you've done that with magic.
Mm-hmm.
And so you do that through all the steps we've talked about. You do that through constantly keeping your name in the papers, the magazines.
Yeah, and you've got to plan it too. You don't want it all at once because people forget. You plan it so that you have it every 2 or 3 months coming. There's something major coming out all the time. So it's a drip, drip, drip.
Yeah, and this amazes me about you because I would have thought, and this is how wrong I was, I guess, I would have thought that someone who's established themselves so well as you have over all these years, people know you, you're in the newspapers, the magazines, you're on television, that I would have thought, well, there must come a point where you slow down. But there's not, right?
That's called age.
Well, no, I don't mean slow down as in the work. I mean slow down as in you're still out there pushing and marketing. And it doesn't surprise me because I know you. But that's how important, I guess, this point is. You have to. This isn't just something you just do once a year. This is something you must constantly do to be successful.
Well, it comes into the last point, which is the final point, which is embodies them all. Show business.
So let's get onto that right now.
That's